So continuing on our adventure towards anger and arrogance, or adventure to control it and subdue it and overcome it, one of the things that I kind of mentioned, but I wanted to be more precise about it, is the idea of judging lechavzchut, meaning to give the benefit of the doubt to someone who is angry at you, because very often we get angry, or when someone does something to you, right, and you get angry, we don't. So you need to give them a feeling of doubt. Why did that person do that, or why is that person angry at me? There might be a good reason. Now we become very defensive. So the key is really to, not be defensive, to try to listen. But beside that, if we get angry at someone for doing something, we have to say, okay, why did that person do that, right? Like the example I gave last time is, imagine that person really just lost his job, or just lost a close friend, or just had a very bad news, or that person who had cancer, God forbid, or things like that. Would you get angry at that person? No, you wouldn't. But you went too fast. In a way, the key to anger is to slow it down, right? We need to slow it down. But it really has to do with not judging too fast, not reacting too fast. So a lot of it has patience. Someone who has patience doesn't get angry. Patience, requires that we are very aware of what's happening. I'm aware that my anger is coming, and therefore I'm gonna make sure that I don't, just let my body control me. Now I wanted to, I wanted to share the thing that I said regarding anava and humility. And the definition that the Ramchal says from the Misas Yesharim says that the definition of humility is not to attach importance to oneself for any reason. Okay? Now, we have to feel good about ourselves. We have to know, I'm a piece of God, I'm created, but when it comes to comparing oneself with someone else, one should not attach importance to oneself with positions, that I'm greater than the other, or things like that. So the humility, he says, is split into two parts: thought, and the other one, action. And that's the way it needs to be worked on: thought and action, at least according to the Ramchal. So in terms of thought, he says that any quality of strength is an undeserved gift from God. Therefore, the more ashamed we should feel. And second, we don't take credit for the actions you do. We shouldn't. We do so many mistakes. There's really no room for arrogance, right? So we get agree. Oh, why did that person do that? Oh, how can you do that? And we can be angry about God. But one realize really everything that Hashem has done, right? If one person gave you $1 billion, okay, and that person does something nasty or not good, will you get angry? Maybe not. That person gave you $1 billion, okay? So it doesn't mean you might not be hurt, and you have the right to be upset, but letting it take it over and becoming wild because that person gave you so much, compared to the thing he did, it's nothing. In terms of action, then again, so that he's speaking mostly here into being humble towards God, but it applies to other people too. In terms of action, this is a bit more practical in a way. Act with lowliness when speaking, walking, sitting, and all movements. So you want to become someone who becomes humble. If you become humble, it'll be really hard to be arrogant and angry, even if someone does something hurtful. So one is how I speak, how I walk, how I see it. It's like that. It's or what do you mean? How can you say such? If we speak like that, we try to make ourselves bigger than what we are, and it shows aggressiveness and lack of control, lack of humility. Then you have bearing insults. That's a very high level. Number 3 is running away from honor. If someone wants to give you a position, again, depends what it is, right? But if it's a work position, it's different. But position of a title, come to the front. We want to give you this honor. You should try to run away from it. The only time that one should accept honor is for the sake of others, really. But it's for your wife or for your family. But for yourself, no. Okay, if it benefits only you, there's no reason you should let yourself fall into honor. And then giving kavod to all. To give kavod to all. If you give kavod to all, it'll be hard for people to, want to be nasty with you and hurt you. And it'll be much harder for you to be angry with that person because, there's a difference with someone holy and someone you respect and someone who gets angry at you or does something that makes you angry because, you have so much respect for that person. So you're not going to jump to conclusion, or you're not going to lash out to someone you really look up to. So give kavod to all will enable you to be in a state of humility. Now, how to acquire it? So before he was explaining the 2 paths and what are the general things to do. He's more practical. So training oneself to act humbly by sitting in lower level seats, walking at the rear of a group, wearing modest clothing. Now I put like a suit, Rosh Hashiva, or like a super. Rosh Hashiva needs to wear things, but if a Talmid Chacham wear clothing, and wants to look like super holy, just for himself, that's not good. The only reason we're supposed to respect the Talmid Chacham, besides respecting the neshama in him that God gave him, but is the extra respect given to the Talmid Chacham is because he has acquired a lot of Torah, a holy Torah, and therefore we're standing up for the Torah that is part of him, but not for the person himself. Some people like crap, right? They have very bad character traits. We have no need to actually respect someone with bad character traits, even though he knows a lot of Torah, by the way. So we don't have to call them rabbis, because someone who has Torah but doesn't have good character traits, he doesn't have Torah, because obviously it didn't change him. So therefore, it's as if he was void of Torah. And then next thing is meditation. When you come from, meditate or where you come from, where you're going. That there will be judgment of my action. All my greatness will disappear with death. At the end, I'm dust. I'm nothing. Meditation on the wheel of fortune. That the wheel of fortune always turns. You're never safe. You can lose everything in a second. Right? So you're gonna be upset of that you're angry that you drop your milkshake on the floor. There are people who don't have nothing to eat. What if you lost all your money at once, right? Now you get angry, right? Now, yeah, maybe. But just you drop your milkshake, why you get angry for stupid little stuff? When there are people who have nothing, when you could have nothing, but you have so much. So it's a lack of a gratitude and appreciation. One of the most powerful way to say to fight against arrogance and the ego and the anger is to be a giver, to give with nothing, expecting nothing in return, and to love and to give, and forget about what you did, right? Don't make an accounting. It's like, oh, I did all this and you did nothing. Well, we're not comparing. Everybody gives a different amount. Everybody has a different level of capacity to give. So even in a relationship, we're not giving 50-50 in a loving relationship. It's 100%, 100%. I have to give 100% myself, 50%. It's not like, oh, I did 60%, you didn't do 40%. Yes, we want everybody to participate, but that's your job, is to give 100%. You might not see result right away, but eventually you'll see result. It takes years sometimes. One's level of duty. Meditate on how much he didn't do and how many times he failed. Right? When you realize that how much you should have done in life and how little really you have done, then it makes you humble. Like, why should people look up at you, or treat you like special, or how should look yourself as special if there's so much you have done and really you have done nothing? True humility is to know exactly who you are. You're arrogant when you speak. You sublime yourself. You make yourself greater. You say something that is greater than what you are. I am good at math. I'm good at math. But that's not arrogant. That's humble. I know a lot of Torah. Yes, I know a lot of Torah. Okay, so that's not arrogant. But if you say, "Oh, I'm the best rabbi," like, no, there are tons of rabbi. Do you know all the rabbis? So what are you talking about? You're boasting about yourself. That's not true humility. True humility is pure MS, pure truth. That's what humility is. Most important of all meditation is the constant reflection on the weakness of human intellect, listen to advices, and learn from everyone. So we realize that we don't understand nothing. We barely understand how the brain works, and we don't know anything. Everything we discover, each time we discover something new, it means that what we knew before was not true. So we live on the way in a constant lie. So we think we know better, we know we're so smart, but really we don't. We are very weak of intellect. We get a little cold, a little, Omicron or a flu, God forbid. We can't think, we can't. We're like babies in bed. Then listening to advices. Listen to advice from everyone, even someone simple, even from a child. You can learn from everyone. It's a pekavod, right? Learn from everyone. That's someone who is a truly wise person, someone who learns from everyone. Because you're never beyond anyone. Everybody has something to teach you. You can learn. You have to gain from every person in the world something. Otherwise, why do they exist in your world? And then finally, what makes you lose humility? Too much pleasure and satiation of this world. Abundance. It will make you forget Hashem. Occasionally fast, distance yourself to remember it is all from Him. The worst is the ignorance of the knowledge. The more you know, the more you understand, the more you see the world a certain way, the easier it will be to be humble. Another thing that makes you lose humility is when you have bad friends who flatter you. Too many compliments. Choose your friends carefully. Not your friends who just keep saying compliments on you and yeah, not true. It's not. Don't look for compliments. But if someone gives you a compliment and you know it's true, say thank you. Really appreciate that. All right. So this is, to keep you on for the week of humility and anger, and may you be able to control your fire so that you use the fire to warm yourself up and to become great rather than to destroy yourself and others.